Welcome back to Top 10 Mysteries. Today we will visit the Solomon Islands in Oceania, where there is a strange custom when a man wants to prove his power and wealth by marrying a lot of wives, and a woman shows sexy to invite a partner. Or the horrifying burial method, letting ants come and nibble on the deceased's body. You will also find it confusing with the world's strangest ship, which has been shipwrecked for many years and still makes money. There are countless other strange things, or it is very calm, and slowly goes to the 7 strange facts that are only Solomon Islands. What is the special geography of the Solomon Islands? The Solomon Islands is an island nation of the Melanesians, with a population of 724,000, located in the eastern part of Papua New Guinea, known as the Wonderland, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It covers an area of about 28,400 square kilometers, or 27 people per square kilometer. Of the nearly 1,000 small islands in the Solomon Islands, there are about 900 volcanic islands. And you may think that this is just a small area of a certain country. Also, because it is so small, not everyone knows that this is an independent country since 1978. And there are also some people who mistake King Solomon for this country. That's incorrect. In fact, Solomon was the 3rd king of Israel, known as the greatest ruler. Today, the northern Solomons are divided into 2 regions, the independent Solomon Islands and the province of Bougainville in Papua New Guinea. It has its capital of Honiara, the national slogan, "Leadership is Service," the national anthem, "God Protects Our Solomon Islands." It is almost the same as the title of the British national anthem due to the fact that it was once the protectorate of the British Solomon Islands. The country operates under a constitutional monarchy and has a government under a parliamentary system. King Charles III is the king and head of state of the Solomon Islands. It is also where English is used as the official language, but it is not written because there is no traditional writing system. The past is passed on by word of mouth, and children learn by listening. Next is the custom that men probably like the most. The way young women show off sexy is said to invite their partners. In the polygamous society in the Bougainville Autonomous Region on the Solomon Islands, there exists a strange tribe. While a man who wants to prove his power and wealth must marry many wives, a woman who shows sexy to invite a partner. This is part of a patriarchal tradition that is passed down from generation to generation as a means to gain prestige and a path forward in society. Accordingly, the local residents believed that men with many wives would increase their workforce to ensure that they raised enough pigs, planted enough vegetables, etc., in order to maintain the status of the husband as well as the tribe. Therefore, it has led to conflicts, jealousy, disputes over the right to love, and even adultery in many Bougainville women. And from there, it also leads to the fact that there are young women who deliberately show off, either directly or discreetly, sexy in a very natural way as a way to invite a partner. Their way of dressing is also different when they all wear a dress like made of straw. Women cover the chest and men will only wear it to cover the intimate area on the body. Along with that, there are blue, red, and yellow face drawings, but there are also many people who wear t-shirts and pants like normal people, and countless different styles of hats that you won't find anywhere else. The neighboring brothers of the Trobriand Islands in the Solomon Sea also have a very strange sex culture. 7 or 8-year-olds begin to learn about sex, play games, and imitate adult seductive behaviors. People follow a matriarchal system, so women can have sex with any man they want, even if they are married. Girls here learn about contraceptive methods very early. Virginity is not something that is valuable to them. If a girl becomes pregnant, her family will raise the child. They also believe that pregnancy is the result of magic, not the result of sex. Have you heard of using ants to bury corpses? The following will show you that it has existed for a long time without anyone knowing. burying the deceased with ants on the island of human skulls. Normally, you only hear about burial and cremation, or more strangely, mummification and bird burial. But here people choose to bring the body so that ants invade all the external parts just to inert the skeleton, a custom that is considered the creepiest in the world. After taking the bodies of the dead to desolate places on the island, the ants cleaned up all the external parts. The skull will be collected and placed on a small island called Nusa Kunda, like a cemetery, which looks simple, but the location must follow strict orders. Specifically, standing in the bottom rows would be reserved for the populace and slaves or even prisoners of war captured in conflicts with other tribes. In contrast, people with high status in the community, such as leaders, warriors, and wealthy people, will have their skulls placed in the most solemn and highest place in the tomb. In addition, besides the skulls, people will order many valuable funeral items such as jewelry and money with finely carved snail shells. In short, the ants here have reached a new position. Anyone who craves ant egg cake and catches ants here will feel a lump in their throat when they eat it. I'm just threatening. Now the residents of the tribes here no longer bury their relatives in the way they did thousands of years ago, but most of them have already accepted cemeteries. The lives of people carrying the mutated gene. Just by setting foot in the Solomon Islands, you will know that dark skin and blonde curly hair are characteristic of the inhabitants of the islands. In fact, Melanesians and Aboriginal Australians are the only ethnic groups with blonde hair, which normally only white Europeans possess that trait. People say that the cause of the unique hair passed down from generation to generation is due to the sun combined with a diet rich in fish. But according to science, it is the result of carrying the TYRP1 mutation gene, which has a special variant of red blood cells. In addition, the majority of people live in traditional houses made of leaves, bamboo, and other types of wood, with a cooking area separate from the rest of the house, especially using the moon as a calendar. In addition, people have a lot of free time, and they choose to play cards, and children choose to jump bridges on wooden towers erected on the sea. Not to mention that the Solomon Islands was once the site of fierce competition between the US and Japanese navies during World War II, so traces of history such as shipwrecks, planes, and tanks still exist on the island, making it one of the places with the highest concentration of World War II wrecks in the Pacific Ocean. One of the islands is named after it, the late US President John F. Kennedy, because this is where he and his warships were stranded during World War II. Another interesting thing is that on this side, they chew betel nuts, like the old people in Vietnam. When you come to a market, you will see that there are quite a lot of arecas for sale, and then they eat with a leaf of something I don't know the name of, and a white powder called lemon. From children to the elderly, men and women, most of them find chewing delicious. There is a place to sell betel nuts. Everyone gathers there while chewing betel nuts and talking happily. Inside the market, bananas, vegetables, watermelons will be sold, each of which costs about 50 Solomon dollars, about 6 USD. The street food here is very strange. There are sausages, but mainly fried and grilled mackerel. Coconuts are also sold in large quantities. The price is only about 0.7 USD fruit. Strangely, the frogs in the Solomon Islands are almost as big as humans. Villagers in the Solomon Islands were stunned when they saw a giant frog, about the size of a newborn baby. The photo of a boy holding up a frog has just been posted and created a big earthquake in the media. The frog is as big as a thigh. Not only is it huge in size, but it is also very plump. The director of amphibian and reptile conservation biology at the Australian Museum, Jody Rowley, said, "I've never seen one that big. It's rare for them to be that size, so this one must be quite old." In fact, the giant frog is believed to belong to the Cornifer guppi, one of the largest frogs in the world, commonly found in Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands. It also has several other names such as dust chicken or giant webbed frog, which is hunted and appreciated by locals because its meat tastes better than our chicken. Unfortunately, their number decreases over time due to the expansion of human communities, shrinking the frog's habitat. Plus, human cleaning chemicals are released into the environment, damaging the sensitive skin of frogs. And the next content will show you the strangest shipwreck in the world, lying in decay for 23 years and still making a lot of money. The world's weirdest money-making shipwreck. A famous duel like the Titanic, the MS World Discovery, even though it is rotting and rusting, still attracts a large number of passengers. The ship has a length of 87 meters, a capacity of 140 passengers, and is fully equipped with a small swimming pool, fitness center, lecture hall, library, observation room, and medical center. The incident occurred on April 30, 2000, when the ship, carrying nearly 100 passengers and crew, collided with a coral reef in Sandfly Passage, Solomon Islands. Shortly after realizing the problem, Captain Cruz sent an emergency signal, and the passenger ferry was dispatched to the ship to evacuate all passengers safely. The captain then brought the ship into Roderick Bay and left it stranded in the bay waiting to be salvaged. However, due to the complicated civil war situation in the Solomon Islands at the time, the ship suffered heavy damage. After the Civil War ended, many companies also tried to salvage the ship, but were powerless. Since then, for 24 years since the accident, the MS World Discovery ship has been lying on its side in the Solomon Islands, creating a one and only scene. The paradox is that people are extremely excited to witness the decay and moss clinging to the side of this huge ship that is both wild and a little mysterious. Thanks to that, it became a famous place, helping it earn a lot of money. The above facts are already very strange, and it is even more fascinating that the people here possess the genes of a group of people who have long since become extinct. Finding a new ancestor of humanity. Scientists have recently discovered that DNA samples from the Melanesian people on the island nation of Papua New Guinea and some islands in northeastern Australia contain 4 to 6% of the genes of the hominin strain, an extinct human species that lived in Central Asia between 30,000 and 48,000 years ago. They separated from modern humans on an evolutionary path between 27,000 and 400,000 years ago and are closely related to the Neanderthal species, a group of people who lived in caves in Europe and the Mediterranean region between 3,000 and 100,000 years ago. Clearly, the genes of the hominin strain are not found in modern human bodies elsewhere. That shows that the phenomenon of mating between the hominins and modern humans only occurs for the Melanesian tribe. Anthropologists have found evidence that from Africa, modern humans traveled to other continents of the planet in a single migration. The expansion of our ancestors caused other human races to become extinct. Therefore, it is extremely strange that the surviving people carry the genes of the lost human race. Finally, the situation makes this whole place in danger of disappearing. Solomon Islands are disappearing. Nearly 3/4 of a century ago, the Solomon Islands stretched nearly 1,609 kilometers northwest of Australia, the site of fierce battles between Japanese and Allied forces during World War II. Today, the archipelago is struggling against climate change and rising sea levels. According to satellite images of 33 islands in the archipelago from 1947 to 2014, 5 islands disappeared under the waves during that time, and 6 more were washed away by waves. Rising sea levels have swept away 2 villages, forcing residents to move elsewhere. In the Solomon Islands alone, strong sea winds have caused sea levels to rise by 7 to 10 millimeters per year since 1993. However, a 2010 study found that atolls have time to expand their sediments, build up the coast, and emerge from the waves, mitigating the harmful effects of rising sea levels. So perhaps the people of the world still have a lot of time to admire this special archipelago. This is the end of the video about exploring this special archipelago. Thank you for watching until the last moment. There are countless more strange and special things waiting for you in other videos in the Top 10 Mysteries channel. Please enter the channel and freely choose one favorite topic. Now goodbye and see you again in the next videos.